This is interesting, right? You got Sierra Leone, your champion from last year, who looked very good in a race at Saratoga. You've got Fierceness, who looked very bad in a race at Saratoga, but then looked very good at Del Mar. Kind of Fierceness's thing, to be good and bad in the same system. And I got a question for you about him. And then you have Forever Young, who is still the wild card, but we know has the talent to compete at this level. Ran second in the Derby, ran third in the Breeders' Cup last year. But will he ever win a race like this on U.S. soil? Because I'm starting to get tired of hearing the wise guys are all on Forever Young, and then Forever Young filling out a trifecta.
Yeah, no, that was me last year. I was on Forever Young to win this race, and he filled out the trifecta in third behind Sierra Leone and Fierceness. I love it in one regard because the top three Breeders' Cup finishers for the Classic all coming back to running it again. I mean, that never happens, right? At least not in modern times. So I love that aspect of it. And here's the weirdest thing. It's like this year, early in the year, we're like, wow, we're getting all three of them back. This is going to be so fun. Sierra Leone's won once and really has only threatened to win once, right? Now, he was good. Win the race, he won, for sure. It's one win. Fierceness has been all over the place, right? He does have a couple wins, but he has a couple races that are horrendous in there as well. And then you have Forever Young, who, yeah, he did go over and win the Saudi Cup, but he also really disappointed in the Dubai World Cup. You've only seen him 3 or 4 times, and he's coming back kind of looking the same he did last year. It's like, can he actually win here in the United States, a big race? So we were so excited to get these horses back, and none of them have really just set the world on fire. And that's really not fair because Forever Young did win the richest race, that we run in the world. But at the same time, you can't really say it's been like an unbelievable campaign for him as well. So they're weird.
Yeah, it is very funky. Sierra Leone able to show a little more speed in a couple of his races this year as well. So, like, maybe he's not as pace dependent as he was last year. Last year, this pace was insanely fast early, and that's why you saw Sierra Leone be able to roll down the outside, be able to basically make everyone look like they're standing still. Fierceness was attending that pace, ran a huge second. This is going to be – I need to see what prices I'm getting on all three of these horses to figure out if I have any interest. Like, of the three, I guess Fierceness is the one I'm most interested in because I think the top-end talent is the highest. Like, his best race, which we see once every 1.5, 2.5 races, somewhere in that range, is good enough to win. If you're getting 6-1, 7-1, then all of a sudden I become a little more interested because he can run his clunker – and I'm still getting the right price the other times where he runs really well because he can beat this field. Sierra Leone, I want to see the pace because as much as I said, yes, he was closer to the pace a couple times this year. He still needs pace to be able to put out his best race. Forever Young is legitimately the one I don't know what to do with. Yeah. I see the talent. He could win the race. What is a fair price on Forever Young is near impossible for me to set because we haven't seen him beat this level of horses before, although we do believe he's got the talent to do so.
He is the weird one for sure, and that's why I ended up on him last year. I thought, you know what, we had only seen the one race. We saw him at the Kentucky Derby, and I could make an excuse for him there. And then you watch his international race, he's like, you know what, if he doesn't get bumped down the lane this time, he's going to win. And what happened? He got a perfect trip, and he ran third. Yeah, he didn't threaten, you know what I mean? And so he didn't embarrass you if you picked him, but you also are like, well, that wasn't anything to get excited about either. That's what I'll say. If you handicap this race and you are 100% sold that there's going to be a lot of pace, Sierra Leone is the horse. If not, I wouldn't play him, right? Fierceness, just throw him on your pick 4s, pick 5s. I don't care if it makes sense from a logical math standpoint. He is beyond that. Just throw him on there. Don't worry about it. Fierceness is the ultimate. Make sure you got him somewhere. Make sure you don't have him anywhere where you have to depend on him. To me, he's an easy handicap from this point on. That's just how I'm going to treat him. And you're right. I'm with you. I don't know what to do with Forever Young either. From a guy that bought into it last year, I don't feel like I'm buying into it this year, right? He's got kind of a prove it to me here in the United States that he can do it. So these are very interesting horses. I don't think any of the three would really surprise you if they win. But they've got their flaws. There's no doubt about it, and they've shown us their flaws over and over.
Yeah, you're right. They have their flaws. That's a very good way to put it. Now, the top, the A-plus game, are all three of these horses good enough to beat Sovereignty? If you get the best version of them, can they beat Sovereignty?
I think the only one, if we get the absolute best version, the only one that scares me is Fierceness. I just feel like he is a horse that can run just a nutty race, right? He's got it in him. I don't know if we'll get it. He's the one that scares me.
What sports team does Fierceness comp to? Because I was thinking about this earlier. Because like at first I'm like, well, it's kind of like the Baltimore Ravens, where like they're like the A game is as can beat anybody, but they don't show up in like the playoffs, which I think is actually a little mean to Fierceness. Because he did win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, right? He did win the Travers. So you have like some marquee races, but he did not show up he showed up last year in the Breeders' Cup, but runs second, doesn't win it, and then doesn't show up at all in the Kentucky Derby. Then I thought like maybe he's like a James Harden comp because you have those really good playoff games, the really bad playoff games, but has never really won the huge one, but does have some success and an MVP. Then I thought like maybe the Denver Nuggets. I went through like 6 different teams / players to try and comp him to, and it's just very difficult to find a sports comp for him because of how inconsistent he is, yet the top end talent is clearly there.
Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs come to mind a little bit. You know, the Toronto Maple Leafs have all that top-end talent that you just kind of mentioned there, but they can't ever really win the big one, put it all together, be consistent in the playoffs, at all, really. Well, they are consistent. They lose in the playoffs. So the Maple Leafs, I think, come to mind a little bit.
What about Josh Allen? Okay, like you have the huge efforts, like the one in Kansas City where he loses in overtime, where it's not his fault at all. That's the Breeders' Cup from last year, right?
Yeah.
You've got the Travers level win with the MVP, right? That's what we're comping to there, but has not won a Super Bowl yet and has a couple head scratchers. But he was more head scratcher early in his career than he is now, though.
Yeah, I think Lamar might be a better comparison than Josh Allen. I think, because Lamar's kind of has those playoff games where you go, oh, wow, that was bad after we saw him win the MVP. I think Lamar Jackson would probably be the better, kind of comparison because I think it's the best comparison now that I think about it a little bit more because think about it. There are games you watch Lamar and you go, oh, they couldn't have lost that game.
Yeah,
he played so well. Yeah, he's unstoppable. He ran amazingly. He threw the deep ball well today. And then you watch playoff game 2 years ago against the Chiefs, and you're like, he got him beat, right? So it's like, yeah, I think it's Lamar Jackson. I think you talked me into.
I put you on the spot here. You had no idea I was going to do this comp.
You said Josh Allen, you talked me into Lamar Jackson somehow. That's how good you are, Somich.
Yeah, I did lead with Baltimore, and I guess we can focus in a little more on Lamar there. It's going to be fascinating to see how all 3 of these run. I feel like I'm not going to be in on Forever Young. I obviously want to see what the post, all that jazz, right? Full caveat, we're 2 weeks out. We have no clue who's actually running in these races yet or where they'll draw or what the pace is going to be like. But I can see a world where Sierra Leone repeats because of a pace setup. I can see the world where Fierceness just freaks, and so he can win. I'm not sure the world that Forever Young wins after last year when I thought this was you didn't have the sovereignty in that field, and you got the trip that you wanted.
I think with Forever Young, you just kind of got to convince him he's in Japan, and then then he wins, right? Because when he's in Japan, he looks really tough.
I'm not even going to go there.